Here is Johnny. Why, thank you, Ed. Well, hello there. Hey, hi, social media family. Then of any subscribers and our visitors alike, or persons among yourselves who are affiliated, associated with, and are representing my own YouTube social media channel, and our likewise chat room or comment section. How are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet, to be said and stated for the record, to be feeling all right. Or if not, best of all, to be said and stated, whereas you and yours, your persons, and any family members and friends could possibly be feeling, like blessed and stressed. And hopefully the same can or could possibly be said and stated for the record when it comes to persons of me and mine. And moving right along. Whereas today's or tonight's, well, it is a new day now, social media broadcast video content is whereas I wish to speak my mind or give my own take or express my views and or opinions in due regard in reference to some of such modern day good Samaritans and or aka superheroes, being the likes, who had taken time out of their supposed or so-called busy schedules to, go about, whereas they would serve in a capacity to show that they care for their fellow man, the one were to be an American citizen and or foreigner, and in this case, I'm making reference to that being which is regarding incidents so far as involving that of fiery flames of fire, whereas these good Samaritans, aka superheroes, as we have it for our own modern day and age, had took the time out of their supposed so-called busy schedules to play the part of literal, actual good Samaritans and are superheroes. Whereas some had rescued person or persons from a burning plane, and then others had rescued, still another others from a burning automobile or motor vehicle. And that takes a lot of courage, to do so. Now I don't know about you all, but I don't know if I myself personally could possibly, want to risk life and limb to help somebody else in a time of a life crisis. Well, so to speak, and then some. But then, more likely, more than often than not, and excuse pardon, forgive me for butchering the English language of American dialect, I could possibly and or would probably think of it with a mind's intentions to do just that, even at the risk of my own life, Now, so far as trying to rescue somebody from a carjacking, well, hopefully it could possibly equally as well be said and stated for record. But then I know I would be much more than likely, more often than not, be willing to try to play the part of Good Samaritan, aka superhero myself, when it comes to trying to rescue somebody else from a burning automobile or motor vehicle, or from a burning plane for that matter, at the risk of my own life, Now, so far as from a burning building, I'm just going to tell you quite honestly, you may be on your own, because I could possibly say from there, well, I'm not a professional firefighter. You know, that's not my call. You know, that's like, you put your hand on the eye of a hot stove, you get burned for sure. You know, if you deliberately do something like that on purpose, knowing the risks or the consequences being of a severe or serious nature. I mean, after all, you go into a burning building to try to rescue somebody, and you're not a professional firefighter, then more than likely, and or more often than not, your chances of getting out of there, even if you are playing the part of a good Samaritan or superhero, and at times a superhero ain't nothing but a sandwich, more than likely, more often than not, your chances of becoming the next victim is much greater than if you were to play the part of good Samaritan, aka superhero, trying to rescue somebody else from a burning automobile or burning motor vehicle. So far as the burning building, I'm going to say, well, it would be more like a 50-50 chance you may be on your own, because if I see somebody burning in a burning building, I'm not about to rush in there and try to, because I'm not a professional firefighter, and you only have one life to live. Well, my bad, correction, sorry about that. Actually, believers in God, as I myself am one of the few, compared to how most churchgoers or whatever religious denominations are nothing but false brethren, false prophet, and antichrist, or closet devil worshippers. But then we few believers in God, we literally actually have two lives, if you look at it from one point of view, if not another, But if you look at it from that in a different sense of the word, we all believers and or unbelievers and unbelievers alike. We only have one life, and I would rather take my chances upon trying to think of it with my intentions to rescue somebody else from a burning automobile or motor vehicle than from a burning building. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, even first degree burns, not to mention second degree or third degree burns, ain't nothing to play with. Which is worse? I can't remember. Is it first degree burns or second, third? I don't know. Well, burns, period, all over your body, No can do so much as that compared to vice versa. And where I'm at now, so far as my place of residence of a building in a really bad neighborhood, whereas there's only one entrance and exit for my apartment. One door. I don't have a back door, And there are bars on the window, So if a fire were to break out, I better make sure I make it to my apartment door and get out of here, and hopefully the whole building is not engulfed, whereas the fiery flames is like, there's so much smoke to suffocate you, not to mention the fiery flames could burn the damn hell out of you, and if you don't want to have a means of escape, So I can kind of sympathize and empathize with persons who are caught in a high rise, as in one of those skyscrapers, and and the only way you could possibly escape the flames is to just keep going up to get away as much as possible, and hopefully you could kind of do some quick thinking. I don't know, make a rope ladder of some kind out of bed sheets and blankets, or make some kind of parachute, because your next alternative option would be to jump through a window, and risk death from falling and hitting the hard concrete cement sidewalk down below. And that's, a life crisis in its own right, just as devastating if you were to get burned by the fiery flames, as you could be caught in a burning building. You hear what I'm saying? Anyway, though, so these good Samaritans, aka superheroes, had gone about, necessary business at hand, went all out of their way, took time out from their supposed so-called busy schedules to rescue some such victims of a plane crash, and in the nick of time. But then some other person had done the same when they had noticed that some persons were about to be engulfed in flames in a burning automobile. And they had likewise themselves risked their lives to save those other persons. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. And not a moment or minute too soon. Otherwise, you know, like the plane, the automobile, motor vehicle, or car would have been engulfed in flame with a, just blew up like a mushroom. Bah, 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 boom! And then you would have fried shish kebab humans, left and right. I mean, I would hate to think about the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Really now. I mean, it's bad enough to go through a living damn hell in this world upon the planet Earth. So I can imagine what the real damn hell is like. The fiery flames, the lake of fire, damn hell, and the being some such fiery flames to be associated with the real damn hell elsewhere, opposite this existence as we know it to be. Yeah. So I put forth the question to you all. If you were to witness, passengers in a burning automobile or motor vehicle or whatever, I have said, would you risk your own life trying to think of it with a mind's intentions to play the part of a good Samaritan, aka superhero, modern day, champion for social justice, to prove yourself to be worthy of, putting forth the extra effort to show how much you care for your fellow man? Scouts honor, I pledge allegiance to being a good person, to sympathize and empathize for those in need. That just get me thinking about the great sacrifices of our own military veterans. D-Day just had passed. The D-Day holiday, and I myself being on my person am prior military enlistment personnel. I mean, think about it. I mean, it takes a really genuine human being of a person to want to possibly risk life and limb to save another person or other people in a moment or time of life crisis. Yeah, I could imagine myself trying to help, a victim of a car crash, and not necessarily be equally as well willing to help a victim of a fire in a burning building or a victim of a carjacking, if, the perpetrator is packing a piece or a gap or is concealed carry and comes out with it with a 38 or 45, a Glock or 9mm. I don't know about that one unless I have some real combat skills. Muhammad Ali. I mean, I do have some basic, boxing and martial arts skills, but I haven't practiced it in quite a while, so it may be rusty. I would say I could possibly be what's the lowest belt in martial arts. No, I could possibly be more than just amateur. I could be intermediate, possibly. Because at one time or another, in a fit of anger, I had smashed the window with my bare fist, with one punch. Was it for atmosphere, or premises and properties of a place of business, for mass transit of a public transportation system? Don't worry about it. Just trust me. God's my witness. I did, and didn't phase my knuckles, none whatsoever. So imagine what I would do to somebody else's face being another male of the same sex, but hopefully only as a matter of self-defense, because I don't look for trouble, but if trouble finds me, I'm going to deal with it, but I would be thinking of it with mass intentions. Excuse pardon for getting butchering the English language American dialect. I'll think of it with mass intentions to go through all the proper policies and procedures and protocols, to try to think to diffuse a situation, because that's what responsible, mature adult individual persons do, And like say, for example, before we would have to get there to have to resort to self-defense if my life is in danger. My first option should be to alert the local police authorities, then because they get paid to serve and protect the general public or the people at large. Understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But anyway, though, not that I meant to sound and seem like I'm wagging the dog. Sorry about that. I'll change the subject. Then to get back to the original subject matter of a topic of discussion to be debated, or as it be of a given argument, with the many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing thereof. And before I were to close out, as you all know, at the end of a social media broadcast of video content, I will usually share with you all the gospel message of our Lord and Savior, the Christ, of his divine salvation. But anyway, that's my take on that. I can imagine myself trying to save another person or other people from a burning automobile or motor vehicle or plane or helicopter. Maybe not, as it could be said and stated for record, equal as well from a burning building. But from a burning automobile, motor vehicle, or plane or helicopter. Maybe not where it could equally be said, state for record. I could possibly be willing to risk life and limb to save somebody else from a carjacking. But I think you all get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. But anyway, though, on this last note of interest, I would like to say, if you have not gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing, realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross, Calvary, and Hill, go to suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers up on the orders of their superiors, fulfilling biblical prophecy to restore the breach between humans and mankind made in his image, so that you don't have to go to damn hell, so that you can become a citizen in the kingdom of heaven once you were to make that transition for the afterlife, so that you won't wind up there, be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demon, be burning forever, compared to how we as believers God will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, and come to like-minded believers in the presence of God and his angels, and even so be blessed down here upon the planet Earth. You all take care. We out. Peace.